You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
The FIFA Women's World Cup well and truly at its business end. Just 6 games to go, 2 quarterfinals tonight, 2 semis during the week ahead, the third place playoff and the World Cup final next weekend. Let's bring in tournament CEO Dave Beeche. Dave, thanks for taking our call in the middle of what is a hectic time for you, I know. With 6 games to go, how do you assess the success of the tournament up to this point?
For me, success always comes down to looking at the capacity of the stadiums and the atmosphere within them. And, it's just been phenomenal. We've had full stadiums, for the last week or so at least. And, overall, it's just gone so well. Last night at Eden Park and in Wellington yesterday were just fantastic. Full houses, capacity fans screaming their lungs out. So, it's been really good.
Have those crowd numbers exceeded your hopes, your expectations, your estimations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming into it, we had a target of around 1.5 million attendees. As of today, we're about 1.6 million. We've still got 6 games to go, so we're going to end up well north of that. And I think more than anything, it's just been the atmosphere and the celebration in the stadiums has just been fantastic. I mean, the quality of the product on the field has proven itself, and I think it's just captured the hearts and minds of both Australians and New Zealanders.
That's an interesting point because obviously you can quantify the ticket sales, and you have. The atmosphere is very much an anecdotal thing. Is it something, though, that you can use as an absolute metric to say, hey, it has been a success because of the atmosphere created?
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, it just comes down to that vibe and that feeling you get in the stadiums. And, the comments I've had are that it's noisier than just about any other event that they've had. I mean, I don't know whether you were at the game at Eden Park last night, but the last 10 minutes was just deafening. The crowd just lit up for Japan, really wanting them to try and close that gap to make it through. It was the same down for Spain and Wellington. Anecdotal feedback again, but the police have had very little to do at the stadiums. More anecdotal feedback from a taxi driver this morning who walks his dog on Great North Road every day for the last 10 years, and after a game, normally with other codes, he's picking up rubbish the whole way, and he said with this tournament it's been different, and he said no rubbish to pick up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just a different audience. I think a lot lower alcohol consumption is what we're seeing through the early data. Lots of kids and families, and just celebrating, what's been great for both women's sport and sport more generally with, something people haven't seen before.
Dave, how much of a boost was the Football Ferns win on opening night for the tournament, particularly on this side of the Tasman?
Yeah, look, I mean, I guess for us that's the $1 million question. What would have happened had they not won that first game? But as I say to the team, we had to build the platform for that success to accelerate the overall momentum of the tournament. So, I think we built a good platform through some great partnerships with New Zealand Football, with the central government, host cities. So all that had to be in place for that win to really ignite the tournament. So, look, there's no doubt it was fantastic. Full credit to the Ferns. I thought they had an exceptional tournament. That win, irrespective of what happened in the 2 games afterwards, but that win was really phenomenal. And I think that will be the benchmark, event from their legacy, that win against Norway, that helped, spark the fire of the tournament.
I know you're clocking up the air miles across the tournament, flying from venue to venue, city to city, country to country even. What are you doing, personally when you're there, Dave? What are the things that you're involving yourself in while the matches are going on? Do you actually get to watch any of the football?
No, I do. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're always there in case there's any issues as an escalation point. But look, I'm lucky enough to have a great team. Got a big crew from FIFA Zurich here as well. So operationally, things have been running very smoothly. I don't know whether you've noticed the quality of the pitches, but that was a real strategic objective of ours to ensure that the teams played on absolutely world-class pitches, and I think we've delivered on that. But then otherwise, a large part of it for me is just thinking stakeholders and making sure that everyone's, comfortable enjoying the game. And then I typically wander the venue and make sure that everything's running right and see what the vibe of the concourse is and, the far corners of the stand. I mean, one sort of tipping point for me on this tournament was the Italy-Argentina match on that Monday night in Auckland. We'd had the first game. We knew that the Football Ferns were going to go well, but, a Monday night 7 p.m. in the middle of winter with no home team playing. And wanting to really sample the atmosphere of that, I wandered up and watched some of it with that Argentinian block who were just singing for the entire game. We had 30,000 people in that game. And for me, that was a point that said, yep, okay, we've captured the hearts here of New Zealanders, and there's something special that's in progress of happening.
Indeed. What sort of feedback have you received from the teams who, particularly, who are based here in New Zealand? What have you heard from them coming back to you?
They've been blown away by, I guess, the service levels. So that was a key strategic objective as well for FIFA on this tournament, is to try and get everything on par with the men's tournament. So, the team base camp model was a new initiative, increasing the service levels with flights, accommodation, the whole works was all part of it. The quality of the training sites, all the upgrades that went on there, so the pitch quality, the changing rooms, the feedback has just been phenomenal. I've just actually seen here at Auckland Airport this morning the Japanese team arrived. They were looking a little forlorn, I must say, so I feel for them having to head back. But look, aside from that, the feedback has been just amazing.
And how much responsibility do you take, or do you have for the legacy that this tournament creates once it's all over and we carry on? How much responsibility do you feel for the legacy that will be left?
Yeah, look, I think New Zealand football were on the front foot from the outset of this tournament. Right at the bid stage, going back 3 or 4 years ago, the legacy plan was already being thought about and being developed. And so they've, aside from the infrastructure side of things, which is the obvious one with all those pitch upgrades I mentioned and changing room upgrades, and then there's the ongoing inspiration point, I guess, these tournaments provide. So, the tournament has to be successful to ignite that. Again, it all comes back to full stadiums. If you've got full stadiums, the broadcast looks good, you're inspiring the country. The TV audience ratings have been phenomenal. So even if people aren't making it to a game, they're watching it on telly, and and then it's New Zealand football have this great legacy plan in place to make sure that when these kids get inspired to pick up a football and have a kick, that the pathways are there and there's enough capacity in clubs and all the rest of it. I mentioned changing room upgrades. Some of the sort of hidden benefits legacy-wise from these tournaments. I was down in Wellington the other day talking to a club, and just through the upgrade of the quality of that changing room in their club has meant that the women's team now use the facilities after the game, which means they then stay on in the club room afterwards. It's better for team spirit and team bonding, and they spend a bit of money over the bar. So it's those sort of hidden benefits from these tournaments you might not always see. Yeah,
indeed. Hey, Dave, thanks for taking our call. I know you're extremely busy, got to hop on a plane as well to get across the Tasman. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations to you and your team on everything that's been achieved so far at this Women's World Cup. That is Dave Beeche. He is the CEO of the FIFA Women's World Cup.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.